Hey guys, it's me, Karen Ashley. You know me as Aisha, the Yellow Power Ranger, and you are watching Enemy Secrets. But hey, join me next year at Ranger Stop and Pop, June 13th through the 15th in Atlanta, Georgia. It is our final year, so come and have a fun time with us. It is like a family reunion of Power Ranger fans, Power Rangers, and we're just going to have the best time ever. It's morphin' time.
Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Oh, yes. This is Goldar, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast. Don't tune us out. Tune us in.
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin' time. Link to the Morphin'. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Spoken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen. I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant. Go Kyle Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curie Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of the Toku Secrets podcast presented by AnimeSecrets.org, where today we're taking a break from O-Ranger. We just posted everything up to episode 38, actually yesterday. Yesterday as of when you're listening to this, but yeah, we're going to be taking a break from pretty much Super Sentai and Power Rangers, because today we're going to be taking a look at a short film called Ark Exitus. This is in kind of a pre-Ranger Stop and Pop, because and the significance of this is that this film, which was released in 2020, it's a short film, so it runs at about like 35 minutes long. It is directed by and it stars Johnny Yong Bosch. Johnny Yong Bosch is a actor that actually not just Toku Secrets, but I would imagine Anime Declassified is also very familiar with him, because he played Adam Park, the second Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Green Zeo Ranger 4, and the first Green Turbo Ranger. In Power Rangers, he's reprised the role twice, and he's also voiced a number of different anime characters. I know he was the main character in Bleach. I personally know him from voicing Tomioka Gyu in the Demon Slayer dub, and a bunch of other things. So yeah, Johnny Yong Bosch, I mean, he needs no introduction. Everybody knows him.
I mean, he is one of the legendary voice actors of the community. He's also in one of my favorite anime, Trigun, where he voices the main character Vasta Stampede.
Yeah.
And he has so many different roles beyond that. So yeah, he is amazing. He's also Nero in Devil May Cry. Yeah, and like Nate said, Ichigo in Bleach and Lilith in Code Geass. So yeah, he has a prolific history.
Mm-hmm.
And this film is very special in that it captures a lot of his past talent all in one place, along with showcasing a new talent for directing.
Yep. But it's also not the only Power Ranger actor who appears in this film, because we also have Jason Narvy. He was Eugene Stolovich in Power Rangers, although everybody knows him as the second half of Bulk and Skull. So Skull. Yeah. But yeah, it's this is going to be kind of a quick, just overall thoughts review, because Johnny Yong Bosch is going to be appearing at Ranger Stop and Pop, and we're kind of wanting to get our thoughts out there, so that in case we get a chance to interview him here on Anime Secrets, we just kind of want to give our own thoughts, plus also just kind of talk with him, talk about it, because this is kind of big for him, not just showcasing his his voice talent and his obviously his skills and as like a stunt person, because most people who watch Power Rangers will know that Johnny Yong Bosch is one of those guys who was actually very skilled in martial arts. So it's also just his directing experience, directing capabilities, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, also, this movie to me is super unique. So he had a plan for this movie, apparently, to make it a full-length movie or something. But then a week before they were going to start filming in Houston, which is where I live, he had his budget cut in half due to some unfortunate circumstances, which we can talk about later on, Nate. But
Yeah.
yeah, that forced him to redo the entire plot in one night, or like over the span of like one weekend, to get ready for what he had to do to make this thing a success. So he didn't lose his money that he put up for the movie to even happen.
Mm,
So
wow.
that is insane to me that he was able to pull that off, because that is not something you would really expect.
Mm-hmm.
So no, he is. It's in this movie. It had some really good reviews online, which is kind of what drew me into it, beyond the fact that this is a Johnny Young Bosch directed movie, which I didn't know was a thing until I found it online.
But yeah, to just kind of give a brief. I mean, once again, this is like less than a 45-minute long movie. So to just kind of up the plot, we have a mysterious man named Jacob. He's working for a secret organization called Structure, which is where he reports to a man named Graham. That's the man played by Jason Narvy. Uh, and Grant, he's hunting down and killing people who look like humans supposedly, but they're apparently from another world. Graham says that they're threatening to invade our world, and when there comes reports of them attempting to open up a portal um to move into a full scale invasion of Earth, Jacob goes infiltrates the base, and he gets sucked into a portal, and he is shown this dream home of his, because throughout the film we're shown that Jacob feels guilty for what he's doing, and he just wants to retire and and live in his own little ideal world, and he's shown the ideal world in the portal, and that discovers that he is in fact one of these people, and they're not actually aliens or anything. They're just humans whose world is about to be destroyed. So they're trying to come into our world in order to survive. Jacob learns the truth. Graham, pretty much reveals that he was just keeping this a secret from him this whole time. And Jacob turns on Graham. He kills his henchman, gets into a fight with Jason. I mean, with Graham, and kills him. And the movie ends on a bit of a cliffhanger where Jacob reunites with the leader of those other humans, and we don't know what happens after that. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole film. And the only real major Easter egg that I caught is that at one point when Jacob is disguised as like a factory worker or something to kind of get on one of these other people's good sides, he's seen wearing the name tag of that says Adam, which is obviously a reference to his character on Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And other interesting things to note here, one of the co-writers for this project is actually another Power Ranger alumni, Kyle Higgins, who you might know from Boom Studio Comics. So he's one of the co-writers of this thing alongside Johnny Young Bosch for the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's another reason I was kind of interested in this, because I like the Boom Studio Comics.
Pretty
I was
cool.
like, well, if Kyle's the one writing it, then it has to be good. And honestly, Nate, I don't know about you, but while the movie is a bit short, because it's a short movie, this is still a pretty awesome movie just to sit back and enjoy. I enjoyed the action scenes quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't yeah, I've never mentioned this on a podcast, but I've actually seen my fair share of short films, because at that special movie theater, the one where I saw that screening of The Phantom Menace where Ewan McGregor showed up, there's an annual thing called the film festival people where every year, like, people who are local to Atlanta, they make their short films, and then they enter it into the contest. And I actually attended one of those contests, because there was like a little freestyle where someone was performing on the stage before the film festival started, and my brother was the drummer, so I just kind of showed up just to show some support for my brother, and then I watched some of the short films after that. So I I honestly do kind of like watching short films a lot because it's kind of just nice to see people who have like a passion for filmmaking actually put like some heart and soul into something, even if you're not always able to see, even if you're not always able to get the deeper meaning like they do. It's just nice to see people's passions come out, and I definitely felt that with Johnny Yong Bosch in this film. Like it plays out like a pretty cool. I don't want to say super deep because it's not like a deep, like really makes you think type of movie, but but it definitely has a lot of heart in it. And I did love watching those action scenes. I'll definitely agree with you on that.
I
So, but
mean, they basically had a lightsaber scene at the end without being a
yeah,
lightsaber scene,
yeah.
which
So
is another passion of ours. If you listen to the Jedi Squadron, you'll know.
yeah. But no, no, no. I could definitely tell that, like, I could see Johnny Yong Bosch putting in heart and soul into making this movie, which is why, sometimes, I mean, that's not the case with this one because I actually do think this is a really great one, but not all short films are great, but even the ones that aren't great, it's just nice seeing people bring their passions out.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think they did a fantastic job, especially. So I have the director statement pulled up from Zani on, what happened whenever he was prepping for this movie. So I'm not going to read the entire statement because it's pretty long, but I'll kind of summarize it here because I think it's worth telling the story of this movie, at least what we have online available to us in general. So they spent 9 months trying to prep to film a few full-length movie, but then a week before they lost half the money for the movie and their lead actor, and the other half was basically already spent on getting the actors down to Houston, flights, hotels, location, etc. So he had to come up with a brand new movie in 1 weekend with Kyle Higgins, and their team of actors had basically on the flight been rehearsing the original plan for the movie, and when they landed, that plan was out the window and they had to memorize a whole new set of lines and do a whole new movie from the
Oh,
ground up because
Lord.
they lost their lead actor and they lost 9 months of prep time and they had to do everything in 1 weekend. I mean, that's insane. And this is all right before COVID began too.
Yeah, yeah, it was in 2020, so
Yeah. They filmed in January 2020, so it's right before COVID really took off because COVID took off in March. So, I mean, I'm assuming he had to do a lot of the editing during COVID lockdown, which makes sense why he got it out because he probably had nothing else he could do given work was kind of scarce at the time.
yeah.
But no, I think this is an incredible story that you can you can go through all of that and still come up with a fantastic product at the end. And it looked pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, I never would have been able to tell that they have those types of production difficulties if
No,
I just watched this, just by watching this, because I'm just now figuring out about that stuff. So that's very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah, definitely. I think this movie has a lot of heart that, makes it a very awesome gem. And honestly, on the topic of Ranger Stop and Pop, which is coming up this weekend in Atlanta, we will have Johnny Young Bosch there and we'll have Jason Narvy. And if I get a minute, I want to ask them, some more stuff about production and, what's the, what's the next project they're going to probably do together. I know in
Mhm.
2022 they were discussing on their Instagram page. I saw possibly porting this short film into a TV series, but I don't think they were able to pick up any interest from the TV networks or streamers to go off and make this TV show based on the movie they had, which is unfortunate because it's a really cool premise in my opinion.
Yeah, I honestly kind of wish that I could have seen this, and like it's like for what it is, it's obviously great, and it's kind of, it's kind of a little nice to now know that they had a bigger idea. They just weren't able to fully realize it with the constraints, but um yeah, the more I think about it, like I would like to see the story of this explored more, and it just kind of sucks how we weren't able to see like the full like feature length version of it.
Well, remember, they completely changed the story. Like they went into. I'll read this line to you from this director's statement. In a scramble, we came up with a completely different short film story and decided to go sci-fi with it. So
Yeah,
they changed this movie from whatever genre it was to sci-fi and made a brand new story and pulled this off. I mean, look, I'm not one that typically sits here and gives tons of praise like this, but in this case, I think Johnny Young Bosch and Jason Narvy and Kyle Higgins and the rest of their staff deserve it.
no. Like I said, I mean, it's not like I go to the film festival like every year here, but I don't. I just kind of developed like a bit of a love for watching some short films just after I kind of did that thing where I showed up for like what was basically just what I viewed as just a concert that my brother was performing in. But yeah, I just um it's kind of nice to see a short film that actually had a budget because the stuff that I've watched obviously didn't have much of one. So it's just kind of nice to just see that type of stuff. It was a fun watch, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I hope that I don't think they've had any projects where Johnny Young Boss came back and directed anything after, but I hope he does more because I think this is an untapped potential for him. And I also think Johnny Young Boss has one of my favorite Ranger actor careers post being a Ranger. And that's saying a lot, given a lot of the Ranger actors don't really get a chance to go beyond being a Ranger in the industry. And I mean, Johnny Young Boss may not have been able to go right into acting after Rangers because he got typecast quickly, but he did find a way to show his worth as a voice actor. And I mean, that's a whole panel discussion that I recorded at Animeverse Houston
Yeah.
earlier this year, where he talked about his journey to becoming a voice actor and going from voice acting into directing and editing and everything else he did. I mean, he's immensely talented to even have pulled off any of it.
Yeah.
I mean, is he like the next Steven Spielberg? No, but he's definitely, he has a lot of talent for, what he is, and I just want to call it out.
Yeah, I think I don't know about obviously it's a bit of a long shot to say that like he should start directing like some big budget type of stuff. Well, unless a day comes, and hopefully maybe that day could come where he proves that he's capable of it. But I would like to see like I don't know, like they keep talking constantly about how they want to reboot Power Rangers into something different than what it is. I mean, you could get him to be like a regular director of that because I would definitely love to see that because I mean he worked on the show and he's a stunt actor and he's obviously proven with this short film that he is capable of like directing action scenes and all that. So at the very least, you could just kind of let him get back to his roots and like reboot and like direct some like dark gritty reboot of Power Rangers. That would at least be very cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's also interesting because Johnny Young Boss has the trifecta of Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman in his background.
Yeah.
I mean, he voiced characters in Dragon Knight, which is a Kamen Rider adaptation in America. He dubbed in Ultraman, and he played Adam in Mighty Morphins. I mean, he's done all three.
Yeah.
So he knows the franchise well enough to have, be able to do something. Honestly, get him and Amy Jo together and let them work their magic. I mean, please.
Yeah, those two are probably like I mean, if we're talking about like the New Zealand actors, then it's a completely different story. But at least as far as like the US based Power Ranger actors, he and Amy Jo Johnson are probably like in a league of their own in terms of success, where they've
Agreed.
definitely managed it. Well, no, I'd probably say that Archie Cow from Lost Galaxy has also kind of built himself quite a career. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think he
probably
has.
those three. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those three are done really well for themselves post Ranger life. Um, and I'm really proud of what they've been able to build in their own respective careers, to get to where they are.
Yeah. Because I mean, again, like, but I would still probably say that Johnny Yong Bosch is probably, at least from like a name recognition standpoint, he's probably the biggest one that like everybody knows. Because it's like, because I remember when I first found out that he voiced Ichigo in Bleach, like I was hanging out at a friend's house and he was a big Bleach fan, and he said, "Oh, by the way, Ichigo was voiced by Johnny Yong Bosch," and I'm like, "Wait, that's Adam's actor," and like so, and almost like a bunch of like big, like for example, when I was living on my college campus, almost everybody was like super into anime. Like there was a big anime club, and like
Of course.
everybody everybody knew who Johnny Yong Bosch's name was. So just from name recognition alone, you would probably say that he's probably like I would probably say that his name was probably even bigger than JDF's name, not in terms of the Power Rangers fan base, but more on like a big like non-Power Ranger fan level. He's probably the biggest known name.
Agreed. I mean, I think Johnny Young Boss has built a very successful career where he was able to consistently act throughout his life. A lot of the other Rangers, even JDF, I love him to death, but he didn't have consistent work where he was filming something every week, and that's fine because he didn't really need to. He was able to build a career on his dojo and convention appearances in the early 2010s onward. So for JDF, he did very well up for himself, becoming a Comic-Con personality. But Johnny Young Boss had the Comic-Con personality because his career kept growing and continues to grow even today.
Yep.
So, no, I know we've been spending a lot of time singing Johnny Young Boss's praises, but honestly, I think he's one of my favorite voice actors and one of my favorite, Ranger actors out there because he just has a great personality outside of all this. Like he's really down to earth from what I've seen at cons and stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again this weekend.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, I would probably from a short film perspective, okay, if I were to compare this to like every other short film that I've seen, this would probably unironically be a 10 out of 10 just because it's on a bit of a higher level than those. But from like a practical perspective, I'd probably give it a 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna go with an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. I don't think I would go to a 9. And here's the reason why. I think had they had more than like a couple of days or even like less than a couple of days to write the script, they did a fantastic job writing it in that time frame. But there's some things where I feel like if they had the time, if they had those 9 months of prep to write the story and plan everything out, then this could have easily been elevated up to like a 9.5 in terms of score. But given there were a couple of things in store where I was like, okay, I would like to hear more about this and see more of it, which I think is also part of the curse of it being a short film. Like you don't get that level of detail.
Yeah.
But I just wish we had gotten more, maybe like another 5 to 10 minutes where we could have dug in a little bit more into the other world and kind of seen what comes next, at least in the short term, what's next for them, because it kind of ends on that bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can be hopeful that maybe something like that could happen.
I don't have too high hopes because, again, they posted they're trying to get something in 2022, and as of this recording, it is currently June of 2025. And so if they haven't posted on Instagram with any updates or Kickstarters or any plan or ideas, then I think this might be all we ever get from this brand.
Well, that's just kind of a bummer then.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Never say never.
Stranger things have happened. Power Rangers got bought twice.
But yeah, that wraps up this little short review. By the time this gets posted, Riz will be down here in Atlanta, and we'll be getting ready for Ranger Stop and Pop the last year. Definitely looking forward to it. And next time we'll be. The crew has pretty much already completed recordings, but we'll be returning to O Ranger next week, and after we're done with O Ranger, we'll be taking a brief detour to take a look at another Power Ranger season in celebration of the entire uh, cast, at least the ones who are still alive. R.I.P. Udana's actress. We are going to be taking a look at the season of Mystic Force and then transition right into its Sentai counterpart season, Mao Sentai Magi Ranger. We'll have the whole crew on for that. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to bringing you guys a lot more fun stuff in the year 2025 and well into the year 2026. We'll see you guys next time when we return to the not so fun stuff with O Ranger. But please be assured that a lot of more fun stuff definitely waits. And we'll catch you guys for all of that fun stuff. But until then, bye for now.
If you enjoyed listening to the Toku Secrets podcast, please check us out at animesecrets.org and follow us on all our social media pages such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also feel free to check out our other podcasts, including Anime Declassified and the Jedi Squadron. You can also leave us any feedback you'd like to offer us directly on our website. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much, and please leave us a rating out of 5 stars. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and leave any comments down below, as we love to take the time to read comments left on our channel and give our fans, shout-outs. If you have any seasons of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, or other tokusatsu shows that you'd like for us to check out, please don't hesitate to say so in your feedback. With all that said, we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our podcast, and we will see you next time as we continue our never-ending journey through the world of tokusatsu. But until that time, you all stay safe, we love you, and may the power protect you.